I gotta go to the bathroom.
Notice how oddly looks like a podcast room.
We wouldn't be here if you didn't blow all our money on.
If you actually read Dutch, we wouldn't have gotten on a train and be stuck in the middle of Belarus. Like, you know, Dutch is basically English's weird cousin.
Ladies, you can actually get marriage counseling once we're back in America.
Well, we could try to get back to America tomorrow, but for now, we're stuck in this crappy little country that smells like years of foreign control and oppressive systems.
What even happened in Belarus?
This place is one of those little quasi-Soviet states that happened after the fall of the USSR.
It is the USSR.
If you paid attention in Mr. Smith's class, you would actually know, would you?
China, but without the one-child policy and sweatshops making those poop emoji pillows you see at the roller skating rinks.
What?
Don't worry, Alex. I'll tell you. So during World War I, all the poor people in Russia got really mad with the government because it was super outdated and he was still an autocrat. So they got rid of the Tsar and made a super weak government in place of it. Then a guy called John Lennon, you know, the Beatle, like, here comes the sun, took control of the government and made it communist.
Dumbo, that's the wrong Lennon, bro.
My bad. Anyways, then Stalin takes over, kills 9 million people, and then he himself dies of a hemorrhage because he killed all his best doctors.
Why did he kill so many people?
Sometimes you just feel like killing people, and he acted on it.
Anyways, then the West didn't really like that he was not really liberating his Eastern Bloc states, more so putting them under new management.
Why America got involved in all of this?
Correct.
Oh, why thank you, gang.
After the Truman Doctrine was made by President Truman, the Cold War began, but no actual fighting happened between the superpowers. Mostly just proxy wars between two smaller countries fighting either for or against communism, along with some arms race too. And America feared the domino effect. That is, if one country fell to communism, would the other fall? Especially after China fell to communism.
Okay. It was a good strategy for this war.
Speaking of China,
Not China, bro!
How did I get here?
you simpletons, after World War II, the Communist Party of China staged an uprising against the very weak Republic of China. After they won, the communist leader Mao Zedong took control of the country and launched the Great Leap Forward, a 5-year plan to transform China from an agricultural country to an industrial one.
Dude, wake up!
Anyways, collective farming policies and rapid industrialization growth saw the death of almost 55 million Chinese people in mass famine.
Wow.
The Great Leap Forward also sought to build up the Chinese military and destroy all Chinese customs, traditions, and religions. After the Chinese Civil War, Republican sympathizers fled to Taiwan, which until decades later dreamt of retaking the mainland from the communists, and to this day still retains the name of the Republic of China.
Whoa! Where did you learn that, bro?
It was on the back of the cereal box.
Whatever.
What about Korea?
After the Japanese left Korea, it was divided in two, with a communist regime in the north and an anti-communist regime in the south.
Zinga!
Okay, so, not long after, the dictator of Korea on the north invaded the south, and then the UN was like, hey, stop that! And then... Anyways, okay, so, yeah, and then the UN sent a bunch of, army comprised of a bunch of people from all over the globe to help defend the south, and they almost pushed all the way back up to China until the Chinese started helping the north, and they got back to almost where they came from. And this one notorious general called Douglas MacArthur, who helped the United States during World War II, suggested that they use the atom bomb to bomb the entrance to the Korean Peninsula, and then he got fired.
He got fired for that?
The Soviets have the bomb now, too.
Yeah, it's rumored that people who helped America get the bomb also helped Russia get the bomb too, so they didn't have the monopoly on nuclear weapons.
Wait, are you telling me it's actually true that America faked the moon landing to win the space race? What the
About that, yes, Brandon, it is very true that Americans might have faked the moon landing. The government was spending millions of dollars on the arms race and losing the space race to the Soviets. The government knew it would have been cheaper to stage the moon landing and give them an advantage over the USSR.
That's very controversial of you, Alex.
What about Cuba?
Okay, I guess I'm at the altar now. It's a very good question, Brandon. So this guy called Fidel Castro overthrew the weak Cuban government and installed a communist government instead, and then went to the USSR and was like, "Hey, can you put these super deadly annihilation missiles on my island?" And the USSR was like, "Sure." And then America already had missiles in Turkey, and both were aiming at each other. And usually when you aim two super deadly nukes at each other's countries, that's not very good. And so began the Cuban Missile Crisis.
And how did we survive such a conflict?
The then leader of the communist Soviet Union, some yuck of a filth Russian name, Gorbachev, went to the JFK and he said, "Take your missiles out of Turkey, it won't take ours out of Cuba."
And
So we did.
What about Nam? My grandpa fought in that war.
The Vietnam War started after the French left Nam and Laos and Cambodia left Vietnam. Vietnam was then split into a communist regime in the north and an anti-communist regime in the south. And then one day they started attacking each other, and America, fearing the domino effect, sent troops in to help the South.
Why do you sound like that?
Stop!
Wait, I could have swore we lost the Vietnam War.
Well, the South did fall to the North after American troops were withdrew because sentiment was changing back home. Now that television was broadcasting the war back home, and young men were dying fighting an enemy that they used the thick jungle to their advantage.
Wait, what about Germany? What happened to them after Hitler killed all the Jews? Berlin got destroyed by the Russians.
well, I'm glad you asked, Brandon. After Germany stopped being evil, the Allies split Germany up, kind of like how they split up Africa 100 years ago, but we're gonna ignore that. After the Soviets started being evil, the Allied powers made West Germany, and the Soviets kept East Germany for themselves. But somewhere else also got split up, caught within miles within the west/east border of Berlin was divided as well. But the communist government really didn't like that people were fleeing to the west freely, so he put a wall in the middle of the city, a symbol of the failure of the communist system. But after President Gorbachev came into power, he announced that he was finally letting the Eastern Bloc countries decide their own fate. And in 1989, the Berlin Wall fell, signifying the end of an era. And in 1991, the Soviet Union finally fell.
Yo, what did I miss? Everything.
Yeah, bro.
How are the Belarusian toilets, dude?
I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there for me too. Still in bed at 10, work began at